pleasant good morning, one and all. Good morning. Welcome to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Today is Wednesday, the 13th day of November in the year 2024. Welcome, one and all. Hope you had a very restful night. Hope you're looking forward for a very productive day and for the remainder of the week. So welcome. And let me say, as we would always tell you, share the live. Let people know that we're here. Today, Wednesday is the regular school day, and I suspect, as we have seen in the schoolyard, many students are already here. We scheduled the program just around 7 o'clock this morning, and as is customary now, the schoolyard was immediately ramped up. People running into the schoolyard to make sure they have good positions to make sure they can get all the valid and credible information. And as usual, we have lots to tell you today. We have lots and lots to tell you. Today, Wednesday, I said the 13th day of November 2024. My colleague, Mr. Conway, is in the studio, as usual, ready to go, ready to bring you some tidbits, give you some nuggets of information. So here we are, as I've said, a wonderful day, a day that the Lord, another day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. Many persons would not have been this fortunate. Every day that we wake up, we see a new day. We have to give God praise for allowing us to see the new day. As is usual, too, we have so much to tell you this morning. We have so much. As I indicated yesterday, we had a program because on Monday, we had some technical difficulties. We weren't able to come to you on Monday. We tried our best, and therefore we decided that we would have given you the lessons yesterday, Tuesday, the 12th day of November. And I suspect a lot of people were caught unawares. Those of you who have done what you were advised to do, that is to subscribe and hit the notification button, would have gotten the notification about the program yesterday. And I was pleasantly surprised at the number of students who turned up for classes yesterday. Notwithstanding the circumstances which caused us to get class yesterday, the numbers were remarkable. And I thank you. We don't take anything for granted. We don't take your presence for granted. The only thing that we got to continue to tell you and harp on you about is the thumbs up. We have right now, 400 plus students in the classroom, only 11 thumbs up. You got to do your thing, man. Come, give us a thumbs up, show your appreciation, and we are going to continue to come and to give you. Well, let me say this, thumbs up or no thumbs up, we're going to come and we're going to give you the information. We are going to give you the information. And next thing we got to caution you about, we got to talk about it a little later, briefly. You got to turn up on time, because we note now that when you had turn up on time at certain places, you get a lockout. Yesterday morning, the president had a meeting for ministers, permanent secretaries, and contractors and all those people. 5:30 yesterday morning, some people were locked out of State House. They couldn't get in. They came late. So watch it. We might adapt. We might be tempted to adopt something similar. That's a joke. We're not going to lock you out. Whatever time you can come, you come. If you can't see it live, you go on YouTube and you see it. That's why we encourage you to subscribe and to follow the page on Facebook, and you're going to be notified. You're going to know when we are on. This morning, as I've said, this program was scheduled just 6:59. And there were some technical difficulties again. I don't know what is happening, but all of a sudden, I was knocked out of the studio, and what happens then once you get back in, sometimes you lose some of the students that were in. And therefore to beat that, I have a system to beat it. So I know all those who were in. The first man, we're gonna do the roll call this morning. The first man in was our friend Barlett from Linden. He came in at 6:59. Then Evelyn came in shortly after. Then it was Tessa, then Courtney, then Ainsworth, then Winston, Wayne, Floyd, then Francis Skeet. And then after Francis Skeet, we had Maria. Then it was Kenneth, Pauline, Lennox, Brian, the original black man, Sean, Clarence, then it was Magnell, then Anthony, Carlton, my squad mate, and then all those persons I called, those were the first 21 persons came in between 6:59 and 7:01. They were knocked off. And then the first person we have listed here now is Jennifer. Then it was Vibert, Lorraine, Leon, Felicia, who ran the man from Essequibo Coast, Raul, Essie, Aubrey from Canada, Brennan from Brooklyn, Patricia from, well, I'm not sure where Patricia's from. Then we have Joan from New Amsterdam, Dexter. Then it was Keith from Brooklyn again, Vibert, this is Vibert John, Wayne, Malcolm, Lucia from Maryland, Patricia, Matthew, Kevin, Trati is here, Aubrey, Marcus, Mary, John, Vibert from East Bank, Jean, Anthony, George, Vibert, the next Vibert is here, Ian, Clive from the UK, Desiree from Georgia, Emerson, Denise is from Florida, Howard, then after Howard is Brenda, Earl, George from the East Coast BV, Rohan Jawar, Gavin from Maryland, Vibert, Old Police 7464. Then it was Carl, Amanda, Kevin, Fergus, John, Carlisle, Hako, Sandra, Isabella, Ovid 0937, Raul, Conor Rookman, Diane, Gary, Leon 100025, Court, the court number is 14598, he's here, Pamela from Westdam, Wharton, Linda, Queenie, Barbara, Carl, my squad mate from Arizona 9414, Richard, Colin from Queens, Cecile, Siobhan, Courtney, Marcus, Oren from the UK, Eda from Queens, David, Tilula, Ronald, Grantley, Lyndon, Melissa, Maureen, Michael, me is here, Lynette from the UK, then it was Russ, Ricardo, then we have Royston, Carl, Charlene, Bonita, Michael, Gaston, my squad mate from Canada, Delan, Obera 1111, Ulrich from Crane, Westdam, Roxanne, Daniel from Linden, Annette, Danny from Brooklyn, Rhonda, Henrik, Wenda, Barbara, Phil, Terrence from California is here, 9135, TK, Clay, Roy from Schenectady, Steve, Carol, O'Neill, Nicola, Doreen, my squad mate from Canada, Rayburn, Denise, the secretary, is here. She came in at 9:49. That is late for you, secretary. You have to be here earlier. Watch your chart sheet, Form 830. Conrad is here, Sandrine, Norbert, Pepper Goat, the Pepper Goat is here, Conrad, Mr. G, Claire, Glendis, Elben, Sean, Regular, Floyd, Dennis, Dwayne, Trevor, Ulrich, another squad mate of mine. He is operating out of Barbados. Joseph, Attorney Don is here with us. Chilo, Janella, then it was Wendy, Courtney, Denise, yes, then Gordon, Simone, Carlton, then it was Jason, Melville, Michael Brower, the man from the British Virgin Islands, Simone, Rastaman, Winslow, Noel, then it was Clay, Eric, June, Audrey, Shamlin, Bert, Colin from New Jersey, John from Brooklyn, Doreen, Tom Cat is here with us, Marcia, Cyril, the angel is with us, Oswald, Marlon, and Mr. Simpson's the last man in the schoolyard. And then when the school door was open, we have Simone there, Trifosa, Lynette from Barbados is with us. Then we have Simoa rather. Then we had Faye, Brandy, and the list goes on and on and on, Ingrid, and on and on and on. Yeah, schoolyard full up, pack up. Everybody waiting for the information. We're going to come to you and we're going to bring it. Now, for the announcements, I announced some time ago the death of retired inspector from the TSU. He worked for a lot of years, Bora Johnson, 12397. I received word this morning that Bora will be buried on Saturday. That's Saturday coming, Saturday the 16th. And I have some sketchy information, but I'll give you it with. That, the viewing will be at Sandy's Funeral Home from 9 to 10. That is what I understand. Viewing Sandy's Funeral Home from 9 to 10 Saturday. Then it goes to further viewing. It goes to further viewing at Micah. They didn't give an address. Between 11 and 1:30, Micah viewing. And then it is said here that then he goes to Borby. So based on what I understand, he is going to be buried in Borby. So that's Bora Johnson, 12397, old TSU police. Used to be in the kitchen there and so on. And then yesterday we told you about the tragic death of these 5 persons in Borby's. It's number 64. I read the news item this morning, and it is unclear as to what actually transpired. What is confirmed is that the mother and 4 of her children are dead. The circumstances surrounding the fire is not fully known as yet. So therefore, we should not speculate. We should not speculate. But again, condolences to all the relatives and friends of those deceased persons. And for the happier note, belated birthday greetings. We have, well, not belated, we have birthday greetings today to retired Assistant Commissioner Paul Langevin. Paul is celebrating his birthday or birth anniversary today. And also celebrating a birthday today is a former Detective Sergeant Aubrey Lowe's Simon, my squad mate, 9527 was his number. Those persons are celebrating their birthdays today, and I want to take this opportunity to wish them all the best on this day and all other days, and wish they live to see many, many, many more birthdays. And then what else we have? Well, we have here, for those of you who missed yesterday, I'm sure you might have caught it up on YouTube, but I did say yesterday I had a date with the court. I went to court, and the matters are now put off for the 27th at 1:30 p.m. and the 28th of January, that is, at 10:30 p.m. I indicated that the magistrate said, and again, I made the point yesterday, I need to repeat it, because many of us sometimes we verbally abuse the magistrates. They do their best, I know, but the system, I say, is broken, because in this case, the magistrate explained that she inherited lots of matters, part-order matters that are before. And in many of those cases, people are in jail. And a wise decision, I believe, was taken to ensure that those matters where people are in custody are dealt with, are expedited. And other matters, such as mine, will be put in January. So I have a date on the 27th of January, 2025, and on the 28th. So that's for those of you who are not here yesterday and who did not pick it up on YouTube. So that is what it is. And then we have a lot of stuff to tell you about. Now, one of the things before I bring in Mr. Conway, or let me bring Mr. Conway first, and then we're going to go into some of the other issues. Mr. Conway, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Happy to be in the land of the living, to do God's work on 2 consecutive days. They could delay us, they could interrupt us, but they can't stop us. The work of the Lord will have to go on.
Yes, 2 consecutive days, man. Students, how you going to beat that? You can't beat that. You had it yesterday. You have it today. 2 consecutive days, all because we intend to make sure that you are not deprived of the credible value ever. And what happened? A lot of stuff overnight. Let me start by telling you that I noted that the Prime Minister of India will be visiting Guyana sometime next week, I think for 3 days, from Tuesday, and he's scheduled to address Parliament, I think, or the National Assembly, I'm not sure which. But, as was to be expected, I note I saw a notification, National Cleanup Campaign. There's to be a National Cleanup Campaign on Saturday the 16th. So I can expect that the police and the soldiers are going to be out in their numbers. The last campaign I think they had was sometime in perhaps July or August. They hadn't any, I understand, for October. I think August, July might have been the last one. Then August, there might not have been any. Well, I think they had one August, but not September, not October. But they have a national cleanup campaign on Saturday. And you don't have to guess the visit of a dignitary, so you got to go out and clean up. Watch out for the police in their large numbers. Watch out for the army people in their large numbers to clean up the streets, clean up the road of Georgetown. That is what they have been relegated to. Clean up garbage. Clean up garbage. That is what they got to do. And of course, many of you would have seen this morning. Well, let me bring in Mr. Conway. See, I'm sure you saw that thing about national cleanups on Saturday.
Yeah. I saw it. And I know that the police are preparing. Some police call me say, "Hey, boy, we got to clean up campaign on the Saturdays." That's what they're relegated to: the police and the army to clean up shit about the place. Good.
Clean up. That says your patriotic duty to clean up. Now, the police are in the news so frequently for the wrong reasons. Yeah, share. The numbers mounting, but they are starting with some good stuff almost immediately. Because I want to get you a lot of the things we have to discuss this morning. Breaking news this morning. Some of you might have seen it. If you didn't, let me tell you. HGP Nightly News is reporting. Let me read what they are reporting. That a sergeant of the Guyana Police Force was recently arrested and questioned at the Miami International Airport in the United States of America over, quote, his direct involvement, end of quote, in the drug trade in Guyana. The policeman's cellular phone was also confiscated and his United States visa revoked. The sergeant was put on the next flight back to Guyana. The sergeant who was put on the next flight back to Guyana has not reported his arrest and phone seizure to his superiors in the Guyana Police Force. Sources familiar with the arrest said that the United States authorities, quote, are well aware, end of quote, of the cops' direct involvement in the 4.4 tons of cocaine, which has been found in 4 makeshift bunkers about 30 minutes from the illegal airstrip in Region 1 on September the 1st, 2024. Other sources told Nightly News that the cop acts as a conduit to the Colombian cartel, other serving members of the Guyana Police Force, and other top officials who have been implicated in the 4.4 ton of cocaine discovery. The quote, the Colombian cartel has every presence in Guyana, especially in the interior locations, end of quote, the source added. In recent times, several ranks of the Guyana Police Force have been stopped and questioned by United States authorities. Their cellular devices were also confiscated. More tonight on HGP Nightly News at 8 o'clock. More tonight. So this is breaking news this morning that a police sergeant who, according to what the reporter said, traveled to United States, Miami. On his arrival, they say he was arrested. This is not, let me read it back. I don't want to misquote. This is what the article is saying. On his arrival, right, they kind of say he has direct involvement in the drug trade in Guyana. The police sergeant, they're accusing him of having direct involvement in the drug trade in Guyana. They said his cellular phone was also confiscated and the United States visa revoked. The sergeant was put on the next flight back to Guyana and has not reported his arrest or phone seizure to his superiors in the Guyana Police Force. That is what we have. And this is the same police force that Gail Teixeira and others, this man, I can't remember his name now, Crandon, saying is the best police force in the Caribbean, and people, the other Caribbean forces are trying to emulate what is going on in the Guyana Police Force. This thing is terrible. This is terrible. Police sergeant, and of course, the other police superintendent, Caesar. Same Miami. He was detained. They didn't say arrest. They used a different word. They say he was detained and questioned. I don't think they said that his visa was revoked. And the question is why? And remember I said, and I will continue to say, you know, if I were in their position and a man who is passing through Miami airport, is detained by the federal authorities, questioned at length, his phone seized, and then he's sent to Guyana. When he reports to me as the commander, he has to come in his bare bokta, his shorts, no clothes on, no footwear. Perhaps he has to shave his head and come in. And you will know why. And the shirt he get on, that will be the skimpiest of shirts. I would have implemented a detector, some kind of a X-ray machine to make sure you ain't bringing nothing in my office. So if y'all want to allow them to come into your office, it's up to y'all. You ain't bringing nothing in my office. But this is a very damning, another damning report. Remember the same 4.4 kilograms or whatever amount of cocaine? Not so long ago. The operation was carried out, and this is confirmed information in the media, carried out by the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, Customs Anti-Narcotic Unit of Guyana, and the Guyana Defense Force Special Forces. Not a single police, including the acting commissioner, the extended squatter, was involved. Not a single police was involved in what was said the biggest land drug bust in Guyana. And I wonder why. Now we have a sergeant, and they're saying, again, they say, this is what they say, they are recently arrested and questioned at the Miami International Airport in the United States of America over, quote, its direct involvement in the drug trade in Guyana. Its direct involvement. That is what they are saying. It's direct. Mr. Conway, let me ask you to make some comments on this matter. Another damning allegation against the, and before you speak, Ms. CC, let me understand that when the US decide to do something like this, they have information, they're going to do it willy-nilly and randomly. They have information. What are your views, my brother?
Well, I remember early, and you're saying kilos is 4 point something tons of cocaine. So don't reduce it, don't reduce it. There's tons of cocaine. No, they had said earlier that a senior superintendent was fingered in this drug bust. All they did send him to the transport workshop where he took over from a cadet officer, and finally like that thing has gone cold. Now you're hearing a sergeant. I got some information, but I can't pronounce yet. Things mightn't be as what is being reported, but then the investigation go on. And then again too, Paul, here is it. In that drug was 4 point something tons of cocaine. The police wasn't involved. And then I read in today's paper, there was a training by the US, Canoe and GRA, and understand not a police involved in it. So apparently they don't have any real kind of confidence in the police in dealing with drugs and in dealing with firearm. Big training, GRA and Canoe, and the police not involved in it. So something in meshing up, something is wrong, and the confidence not there in the police force. The big cocaine boss, police not involved. No serious training in terms of drugs and firearm, and the police not involved. Canoe and GRA. Something is wrong.
Something is definitely wrong. Something is, when you have this type of training and you choose to exclude the police, something is wrong. When you have a police senior superintendent in charge of Region 1, big cocaine boss, they removed him, put him at the transport workshop. You ain't hear anything more, something wrong. You have an operation, massive operation, took at least days. Police kept in the dark, including the most senior policeman, the man in charge of the force, the acting commissioner, Clifton Ikin, the extended squatter. They did not inform him about this operation that was being mounted. Why? And Gil Teixeira is on record as telling the country and the world about during the superintendence of the force under Clifton Ikin, all great things are taking place. All great things under the superintendent of all sort of thing. We know, because we know drug bust, you kept in the dark. We know now they're saying police sergeant directly involved. Let me understand what they're saying. He's directly, it's not a case where they're saying that perhaps he knows something or he sees something, he stays silent. They are saying that the sergeant of police is directly involved in the drug trade in Guyana. This is what has been reported by HDP News. Directly involved. And the police corporate communication unit has not said anything as yet. They have not come out to debunk. There's a popular word now, to debunk this statement. So that is what you have. And again, my heart bleeds for the honest, hardworking members of the Guyana Police Force, of which there are many, many, many. At all, well, not all, at senior and junior levels. Can you say all levels, including the rank from commissioner right down to constable? But not all levels. On many of the levels, you have people who are dedicated, hardworking, and I can imagine the turmoil that they are going through when these things are revealed, because people tend to paint a broad brush. Police, they say police involved. They don't single out who say, well, it's this police, but in the big money laundering and so on. It's not until late, then they say, well, Brutus. But before that, they talk about police, they talk about police. That is what is going on. Must be very demoralizing. Every day you pick up is something adverse. And the people like the Home Affairs Minister, the extended squatter, and all of them, they're not there to try. I am not aware of any program that they have to try and interact. The National Security Advisor, there is a advisor to the Minister, Harry Gill. You don't hear nothing from these people. You don't hear nothing from them about what efforts they are making to try to get the police, boost their morale, because it must be at rock bottom, given what is going on. It must be at rock bottom. But that is what we have. That is what we have going on. And before I move off from the police, let me tell you this one. I learned recently that the bridge, the main bridge to the police headquarters in Young Street, that is the one where, between the two cannons, you have the cannon and you have the guard out there. I understand that bridge is damaged. They are building this new TSU building at the back there. And the information is that large trucks carrying building materials, sand, cement, stone, and so on, were traversing on that bridge. And obviously the bridge wasn't built for that. So the bridge damaged. The bridge is damaged, so you have to use some other entrance to go in to the police compound if you are driving. And here what I understand. I understand, and this is information that I got, that they budgeted, a sum of money was budgeted for the repairs to that bridge. Some time ago, a sum of money budgeted to repair the bridge. The bridge cannot be repaired as yet. You know why? Do you know why? Because they say the money disappeared. I can't believe this. Something got to be wrong. That is what is being alleged. That the money that was budgeted to repair the bridge to go into the police compound disappeared. So they are in the process now of doing a new budget for that bridge. That is the information came, and our get it is selling it. But I can't believe that money can just disappear just like that. Something must be wrong. What is going on at that level in the force? And when things like this happen, it really can't be no junior person and junior at superintendent level, and these people. Got to be senior people. And I would hope that now that this thing is put out there, that the police corporate communication unit, the acting commissioner, the extended squatter, this has to be a capital project. So the PS, Ministry of Home Affairs, will come out and debunk this statement. They will come out and debunk. I honestly hope that they do so and say this is just a wild rumor, and we're going to come back and tell you, well, it's a rumor. But I get it from what is normally considered reliable source. So I said, let me put it out so we see what they're going to do. The bridge broke. They're not using the bridge. I think that is confirmed. So they budgeted to have the bridge replaced or repaired, whatever it is. And the information is, they don't know where the money gone. One of the money they in one of them enough bank accounts. But they don't know where the money has gone. That is what I'm told. Let me bring in Mr. Conway to hear what he has to say about this. Mr. Conway, this is remarkable. This is remarkable. At least I think it is remarkable. What are your views, my brother?
Well, it's nothing strange, you know. It's from financial irregularities to financial irregularities, from corruption to corruption where money is involved, widespread all across the police force. And I said yesterday in the program, Borbies, Borbies, where financial irregularities going on. They need to investigate. I talk about the quartermaster stores all over the police force, financial irregularities and corruption. And it's not the small man. I mentioned yesterday that in Borbies where they recruits the Amerindians at the college here were seen on New Amsterdam Tongue Day wearing the type of footwear that the officers wearing. And they say they have to pay a police corporal. I don't call his name yet, but I get his name a sort of $7,000 to acquire the footwear. They had to pay for get footwear when it's getting free from the quartermaster. So I had to pay. And my information that came to me last night is that this corporal is just a front for a senior officer. Just a front for a senior officer. So you look, there is financial irregularity, there is corruption at all levels, and it's widespreading again the police force. Not only the bridge, several other areas there is widespread corruption going on there, financial irregularities. The corporal who selling the boots for 7,000 is a front for a very senior police officer. I name, but I'm not gonna call the name yet.
Yeah, folks. Yeah, continue to share. We ain't giving you the real thing yet. That is just hors d'oeuvres, cutters. We coming to give you the real thing sharply. So continue to share the live. Continue to share. Give us the thumbs up. Give us the thumbs up on while you are at it. Just note the scrolling at the bottom, where if you are inclined to make a contribution, the information is at the bottom there. And again, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of those who have made contributions to this program. We appreciate your generous contributions, and we asking those. I know some people have reached out to me. They are perhaps in Canada and the UK and elsewhere, and they don't have the Zelle and the Cash App available to them. So we're gonna work out something at some stage for those people there who would want to make a contribution. Yeah, but that is what is going on. Now let me come to this one. You know, every day, look, yesterday morning at 5:30, the president had a meeting at State House where he summoned, they say on short notice, I don't know how long ahead, ministers of the government, permanent secretaries in the ministries, contractors, and the engineers. And the subject of the meeting was the delay in these many projects, these million and multi-billion and $100 million projects not being delivered on time. So the president called them for basically abuse out. It's there. The tape has gone viral. President addressing ministers, in my view, very disrespectfully, permanent secretaries, engineers, contractors. So see big men and big women sit down there and cower in the corner, and the president berating them publicly. It was a sad sight to see. It was a sad sight. But then, you know, I said, let me see. The purpose was to address the delays in these projects. And how can you, I mean, the president come and he puffing up, he huffing and he puffing and all this sort of thing. You know what's going on. I know somebody wrote something. Let me read what was written here by someone, and I concur with this. The person said that the ultimate admission of failure is when you parade all your ministers, permanent secretaries, and their selected contractors at day clean before the nation, conform and demonstrate their incompetence and inadequacies, then pretend that it is not your failure, but somebody else's. At this point, there's really only one option. Start packing your thing and go home. And I agree. I agree. They get something called vicarious liability and responsibility. You're blaming all them people downstairs there. Them contract people talking about, I have to say this. As of a couple months ago, the word corruption wasn't existing in Guyana, or corruption was not existing, so much so that we are told that the Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzu Nadir, banned the word corruption from being used in Parliament. Parliamentarians cannot use the word corruption. That is what is reported. They can't use the word corruption in Parliament. And we have been saying this program is running for almost 3 years now. We talk about corruption and incompetence. And what did they say when we talk about corruption? Oh, they bring the evidence. That was the mantra. Bring the evidence. And we were saying all along, that is not how it should work. Once credible allegations are made, you have got to investigate to either confirm the allegation or to debunk it. Debunking, I use the word debunk, to debunk the allegation. But they were not doing that. They were brushing it aside, blaming the opposition, blaming social media influencers of making these false and malicious allegations. They're not investigating. Then all of a sudden, a few months back, the United States Treasury Department sanctioned the PS, Ministry of Home Affairs, and two businessmen, the Mohammeds and the companies, sanctioned them. Then all of a sudden now, the word corruption is in vogue. You can't open the paper a single day, or you can't hear one of those cuss out where they're talking about corruption. Either they're using the word directly, or they're alluding to corruption that it takes. Suddenly they know that you get corruption. Having said that, wonder if the Speaker is going to reverse that decision and allow for members of Parliament to use the word corruption in Parliament. I wonder if he's going to do that. I wonder if the members of Parliament are going to perhaps move a motion or whatever process they have to use to make sure, because the thing they're all over now, corruption, police force, senior officers, corruption, charged before the court. It is no longer just that, but the allegations now are before the court. A senior police officer, 30 criminal charges for corruption-related matters. We hearing this morning now, police sergeant, all this corruption. We heard a few days ago about the rank working at the Ministry of Social Services, $150-something million found in our home, with perhaps thousands of pension books. Because of pension book, I'm a pensioner, so I know, it's $36,000 a month you get as a pensioner. $36,000 a month you get as a pensioner. Now, if someone has accumulated $150-something million, I know over a period of time, got to be, and let me say this, it got to be in this year, because it got to be the current year, because once the year ends, then you're going to get new book. So this $150-something million that this person was able to accumulate is during 2024. Old age pension and other disability benefits and so on. Do the maths. I am no mathematician, but if you do the maths, it will tell you it's thousands and thousands of vouchers have to be cash. Perhaps hundreds of thousands of vouchers have to be cash for you to be $150-something million. And the vice president saying in the Brutus, oh, the system works. The system is not working. The system is not working. Corruption in high and low places. So the president called out yesterday, and he berated and he abused out. There's a fancy word I'm using. He berated and he cussed out. You see the man carry on. And I smiling. And I smiling. I know why I smile? Because when on the 23rd of December 2020, the president had that conversation with me in respect to the police promotion. I was the chairman of the Police Service Commission. When I was asked to call him, and I did so on the night of the 23rd, the same, during the day of the 23rd, the Police Service Commission met and created a short list for ranks to be further considered. And when I got home, I was asked to call the president, which I did, reluctantly, I must add, and he asked about the promotion of Brutus and others. And when I told him that they were not shortlisted because they have pending disciplinary matters. Them when you see the behavior there yesterday and the behavior with the journalist from Kaicho News some time ago, I experienced that. Man, aggressive. How long the matter gonna be pending? I said, well, it's not our fault. I told him, I said, in the case of Brutus avoided the process. It's not our fault. He was ducking and hiding and dodging. I told him that. And that set a certain certain system in motion. I got to repeat this because that was on the 23rd of December 2020. The next day, the 24th of December 2020, Robeson, the Minister of Home Affairs, communicated with Nigel Appy, who was carrying out the functions of commissioner, with a list of ranks. I have the list. Who he said must be charged criminally for varying offenses. And that same list that Robeson sent to Appy found itself to Brutus, who was the man at admin. And Brutus then wrote to those persons to tell them that they were being investigated by SOCO and CID for several nonsensical things. So I say that to say to you, I experienced. So when the public see that and hear the man carrying on and carry, sit down. You tell, what if you're the president, add up on some big people there? Sit down. President, that's the type of decorum. And I made the point, before I bring in Mr. Conway, I made the point before on this program, that respect is earned. You can't demand respect. Respect is earned. What I saw there yesterday is not something that can cause the president to earn the respect. I saw a lot of people who are fearful and cowering in their corners, including ministers. When you hear the president call Priya, oh my God, shameless people to sit there or to stand there and to take them type of belittlement from the president. I mean, you might grow up and you're respectful and so on, and you're going to want answer back. But I suspect they're piling up in there. And according to Mark last night, Benchcap says a good thing the thing was in an open place where air could have filtered through. Because you could imagine a lot of people sit down there and play and blowing horns. Sit down there and farting. Pressure. They sit down there, they're farting. And they sit down there and they take it. Imagine when these people go back to the ministries, because almost everybody in the ministries below them would have seen how the president berated them. When they go back to the ministries, they believe anybody that really respect them. They might be fearful because, you know, your job on the line. If you say anything, you're going to lose the work. So you're going to be fearful. But you can't respect those people who showed no self-respect to sit there and stand there in many cases and be berated in that manner. And, you know, again, the sad thing is that nobody can whisper to the president, boss man, this is not the way it should be done. Boss man, you're talking about the big men and big women. If you really want to call out Ashley Singh, the finance minister, all of them call them by name, and they sit down there, and the contractors, and I noted some of the people who are supposed to be contractors getting all sorts of multi-million-dollar projects. They weren't there. Let me bring Mr. Conway to office here. I got something more to say on this, but let me give Mr. Conway some of the button about this 530. This 530 madness CC. What are your views?
It was shocking to the bone. And then I realized 5:30 in the morning, you know, it's like a coup d'etat. The coup, you started early in the morning. We say, Guyana, before board wife wakes, early in the morning. And it's like a president organizes his own coup, a coup against himself. Here it is, targeting small and medium scale contractors. Not the big ones, not the $1 billion ones. The one with a couple of $1 million, them is people who he targeting. And who he really was targeting? He was really what we call effing up, targeting his friends, family, favorites, and flatterers. Is there one people they're targeting? People who and get the ability to run any contract, to run any project. They know about project management, but they give them, and now because it's delay, because it's screw up, you call them together. And big men, big women treating like schoolboys. I look at it and see big men and big women got to stand up, and I hear the president shouting on somebody and put your hands together. That apparently when you're making a presentation you can't gesticulate, you can't use your hands to thing there, it was terrible, horrible. And dealing with the small and medium scale people, not the big ones, not the $1 billion ones. And when you look at it and it says a 4 months period, what about people who get contract and going over for years, going over for 6 months, 8 months, and finish? Why 4 months? It was horrible. It was I can't find words to describe it. And then the president's telling people that is your person, he's working with you, and you are responsible. I agree. Vice versa too. That all the ministers and permanent secretary working with the president, so the president is responsible. Vicarious liability. We did yesterday is just he just showed just displaying his incompetence. We did it yesterday. Here the big people, bring them together in an open forum. Eh? And some people need that opportunity to defend themselves, shouting at them, keep your hands together, don't talk to me like that. That was very unstatesmanlike. I couldn't imagine that would come from a president, and more so a president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Yeah? It it was it was terrible. I couldn't imagine, and all the president did was talking about himself, berating himself. Vicarious liability. Is he people? Is he ministers them? Is he permanent secretaries? Is he engineers? Is he people them? And is them screwing up? So if them screwing up, is he screw up? Paul, and I can't. I'm looking for words for this describe it, but it was terrible. It was horrible. A president behaving worse than a schoolboy.
Yeah, keep your hand down, put your hand down. Oh my Lord! But it is not an isolated incident. We have seen this type of behavior repeatedly. I remarked earlier about the Kaicho News journalist with the ousting, where he shouted and that. A lot of people, some time ago, I think it was Sakur on BBC, the president had an interview, and I was ashamed. Or some people complimented, oh, he attacked. But they got something called decorum and diplomacy, that you could make your point in a very diplomatic way. You don't have to rile and rave. I can do that because I'm no diplomat. But when you have the other state behaving in this, they used to say, call them nigger behavior, that is worse than that. That is what is cause for concern. It shows the temperament. I remember when they had the Heroes Highway opening or something, there, a British journalist asked the president some question. And when he responded in such a way that the man had to actually tell you, it doesn't call for that. Why this type of aggression? Something to the effect. The British journalist remarked to him. It is shameful, it is disgraceful. But Mr. Conway, you're a man of words. You say friends, family favorite, and flatterers. That is what the people there were. But you left out the most important F. Friends, family, favorite, flatterers, and according to Mark Benskap, there are a lot of farters. A lot of people pass gas. They fart up there yesterday. And had it not been an open place, a lot of people would have get blackout. This is what we would have gone. This is crab dog behavior. Crab dog behavior. It is shameful. You can't put it no other way. And I'm waiting to see how they're going to spin this kit Nascimento, and they're going to come out and they're going to spin. They're going to set out all them spin doctors. They're going to leave the cricket match and they're going to come and they're going to spin something about it. It is unpardonable. It is unpardonable. But then remember, these people with these contracts, They're making a lot of noise. You have a lot of people getting contract who should not. So you talk about delay. They know the whole system broken. It's a corrupt system. They got people getting contract. They haven't finished the contract, and they get a new contract. But the president making all this noise. They got people, and he made reference to it, so they know they're bidding low to get there is collusion in the system, so they bid low for get a job. And once they get a job, then they get overruns and all this type of thing. Remember the school on the East Bank with statement, Kashif and Shanghai and them get contract for build some 350 something $million school. Delay and delay and delay. And then what happened? Another 100 and something $million they were given. And the vice president a few weeks ago shamelessly said that the school is complete. The building is completed. And people then had to go. Starbucks News went there to show that no, this place is not completed. They lie. They come and they tell a lot of lies. There's a report that the Amstel police station was repaired and the original cost was 90 something $million. And they said the overrun was close to the same 90 something $million. And them contractors can get more work. They talk about Critic get some contract for 800 and something $million. A man who perhaps never even built a foul pen. Overrun and problem with that, and he get more contract. So what is it you are telling us, Mr. President? You all know to come and to give the impression that something is being done is this big bad wolf, and you're berating the ministers and the permanent secretaries and the engineers. There's a big set of bluff, blow, blow. There's a big set of bluff, blow, blow. Big set of bluff. But to hear what's going on there, I told you about the variations, Bamia, and then I'm saying that is what is going on. It is all part of the corruption in the system. This word corruption that the Speaker of the House of the National Assembly said parliamentarian must not use the word corruption in Parliament. And nobody got a gall to tell you all your ass, right? I guess they're thinking about parliamentary decorum and the fact that they're going to suspend you and you're going to get pay. And maybe all them things are consideration. Maybe they're considering all of those things. Yes, Johnny, it's St. James, the Bamia School, it's St. James and Kashif and Shanghai, they got a company called Statement. That is the company that got bid. They never even build a foul pen, but they get contract to build a 300 and something $million school. And then when they delay and delay and delay, they get another 100 and something, 120 something $million, it was reported to build, to continue. And then the vice president a few weeks ago said on one of his Thursday's rantings that the school has been completed. And people said, no, that is not so. And there was an article, I think it would have been in Starbucks News, which showed with picture that the school is not. Up to as we speak now, I don't think it is completed. And I'm going to sit down there and tell the nation, lie, that the school is completed. Then we accept it. We think so the president jump up and making us satanize to try to fool people. But we big, but we aren't stupid. We are big. We are not stupid. Mr. Conway, do you want to say anything more on this 5:30? And again, I said, students, we might got to implement something to make sure, because one of the PS or somebody turn up late yesterday morning, he get locked out. So we might got to make sure that after Sunday, he get locked out. CC, let me hear you, man.
Just to get back to what you mentioned about Mark, the president did better than ExxonMobil. They created gas, they get gas offshore. Now the president in his performance, we had a lot of gas onshore at State House, so a lot of things take place, But the thing is, they were saying that there is no corruption, and here it is, corruption, endless corruption they mentioned, but then the big ones, the real ones, the multi-billion-dollar ones weren't there. And even the people from their region who also gives out small contract, they weren't present. They weren't present. So the corruption is there, and what the president did, he talked about himself, and all he do is that what he did, he didn't know that something called vicarious liability. And I always remember when I was a police sergeant and instructor at the college, I work a night. Another commandant named Roy Paris, he retired as an assistant commissioner, died. And I reported to him in the morning that everything was okay. All the guards were in place and they were alert. So he said, no, he said, Sarge, you were sleeping. I said, no, sir. I said, when I work in night, I don't sleep. He said, well, look, they had Gary Sintorbin Sobers, your trainee. He said he was in the North Rabbit Walk and he was there sleeping in the hut. And wasn't he sleeping, was you sleeping because he's your trainee and he take me, pattern me behalf for you, or he had respect for you. That's why he was sleeping. He said, Sarge, it is you who were sleeping and not Gary St. Albans Sobers. So always remember vicarious liability. So the president just bought that himself.
He bought attack himself. He bought attack himself. And without perhaps even recognizing that he bought attack himself. Folks, continue to share. Continue to share. We're coming to the main subjects now. Continue to share. Let me tell you this. I understand that as of today, as of yesterday, I must say, the 12th day of November 2024, Assistant Commissioner of Police and criminal accused Calvin Brutus has not been interdicted as yet. I also understand that his driver, Kevin George, was seen a few days ago in uniform. He has not been interdicted. I can't believe these things. When people tell me this is, I said they're being malicious. I can't believe that 20 days and counting, and Brutus, who appeared before the magistrate on the 24th day of October, and will not answer, and had 24 and had 30 criminal charges read to him. Lastly, by public officer, misconduct in public office. We're talking about conspiracy, money laundering. Man is still on the job. Man is still in the job. He remains on administrative leave, but he's still on the job. What is taking them so long to do what is the correct thing? Have him interdicted and placed on half pay. That is to be done by the Police Service Commission. We outlined the process before. If I ain't going to outline again, let us go and look at one of the previous programs. But what is even more shocking is that the driver, a sergeant who has to be interdicted by the Commissioner of Police, the extended quarter, I understand the man is still in the job, wearing uniform and working, not like he can sick leave or anything like that. The man working, and one wonders what is the state of the police force. You recall that not so long ago, in the annual report for 2023, the Police Complaints Authority, in its report to Parliament and the President, made reference to that. He said that people are charged, policemen are charged criminally, and they are not interdicted. And here we have an example, or two examples, where Brutus is charged since the 24th of October. George is charged the same day, and the information is that they are still on the job. They have not been interdicted. In the case of Brutus, they say that he remains on administrative leave, and in the case of George, his driver, he walking, I understand, somebody told me they saw him in uniform not so long ago walking. What really going on in this place? What is really going on? I don't know, Mr. Conway. Let me bring you in to get your say on this. Brutus and George still on the job. Well, not Brutus are still on the job, but Brutus remain on administrative leave. But George, the sergeant, I understand him are still about.
Well, it's simple. And all the extended squatters got to do is to interdict him. But for us, Paul, he waiting to do like what he did in Borbis with a youngster who was charged. So maybe he waiting for the 21st of June and then he would interdict him. Maybe that's what he waiting. And the Police Service Commission, which is led, is chaired by a bishop who's supposed to be a man of God. For the matter, we mentioned that the commissioner's got to write him. For me, the commissioner got to write him anymore. It is public knowledge. It is known universally that Brutus was charged. So all the public service commissioners got to do is is to interdict him. They are accustomed to running in breakneck speed around on the 4th of July 2022. The chairman, the bishop, was on tape for the one who was weak down the leg side. And on tape where he asked him about promotion, and he said that he's just waiting on the recommendations of the Commissioner of Police who made promotion on the 2nd of July. 250 some 52 persons were promoted, that they promoted civilian, that they promoted persons who had disparate matter spending, attacking about Brutus, attacking about Karimbash, attacking about Shiv Prasad Bacchus in Borbis, attacking about Prem Narain, attacking about Chevron Jupiter, all had disciplinary matter spending, which is a bar for promotion. And this bishop made an ungodly promotion. I understand that somebody was bold enough from the commission and asked, "Mom, we ain't got to check people files and so." And they say, no, we ain't got to check no file because we don't know the people. And we were told that whatever the police send, we must rubber stamp. So they didn't add, they didn't alter, or they didn't correct anything. Just how the thing go, just said come back. Promoted a man from inspector to superintendent with no known academic or professional performance. Supersessions, the order of the day. So I don't know what the police service commission is doing. What is the bishop doing? What is the bishop doing? Supposed to be a man of God, but perhaps he's making unholy decisions, or he making no decision at all. Yeah. Imagine, man get charged before the court. It's a simple thing. Interdict him. And then on the other hand, the extended squatter waiting until the 31st of June, then he gonna interdict him. My God.
No, the extended squatter is known to have dismissed people. He dismissed these guys who were involved, or some not even involved, in the Quindon Bacchus murder. Sergeant Damien McLennan, Thorsten Simon, and the Nabriga. They appeared in court, I think it was the 5th of July 2022, to answer charges. In the case of McLennan, he wasn't even on the scene. Trump-up charge. And on that very day, they were dismissed from the force. So there was no presumption of innocence. It can dismiss them on that very day when they appeared, the 5th of July, 2022. Dismiss them. So what happened to George now? You suddenly recognize that George has a certain constitutional rights. And I'm not advocating for him to be dismissed, but I'm saying the process requires him to be interdicted and placed in half pay. And that is what they should do. And in terms of the bishop, CC, the bishop trying to figure out whether he's a religious bishop or whether he's a chessboard bishop. He's going through that process of trying to figure it out. When he figures it out, perhaps he will then cause the commission to take some type of action. Because he has a secretary there, Jagobin Jaising, is a sailor. You know what's going on. So even if he is to advise, he can advise them wrong. I'm going to deal with that a little bit more in the program, time permits. But I want to go on to one of this thing. I tell you, y'all want to hear this one, so share this one. Share this. Or somebody talk about Pompeo visited Ghana. Let me mention it briefly. That was an Osh visit. The former Secretary of State, Pompeo, or according to Melimel, Pompeo visited Ghana with his son and somebody else. I understand that the man came commercial flight, incognito commercial flight, and then went back yesterday afternoon, commercial flight. They flew him by helicopter, he and his son and whoever else accompanied by helicopter to the airport, and he boarded and he got back. And people are asking why. Why? I don't know why. But what I can tell you, that given the behavior in recent times of the vice president in particular and the president yesterday, these seems to be people who are stressed out. These seem to be people who have a lot on their mind, a lot on their plate. And I ain't talking about things that we are maybe aware of. Things happening. The people are behaving erratically. That performance yesterday can only be described as very erratic. And that is being very generous to describe it as erratic. That diplomatic thing. But the other one too, let me go into this as a doozy, man. Share this one. Share. Let me see some more thumbs up before I give you all the main course here now. Thumbs up. Somebody said let it be. Let me give it thumbs up. Let me get some thumbs up. And I can tell you all this one. I can read. This is on the 7th. This is on the 7th. There was an article which says that the government will debunk opposition lies. Work closer with Trump administration. Jack Dio. Hear what he's saying? Jack Dio said the government will debunk opposition lies and work closer with Trump administration. Now let me read what the article says that he said. Then I'm gonna go into the story. Vice President Dr. Barrett Jack Dio on Thursday, this last week Thursday, said that the Irfan Ali-led administration is keen to continue working alongside the United States of America and the incoming Donald Trump administration. The Vice President, who is the General Secretary of the governing People's Progressive Party, Civic PPC, also emphasized that a key focus of government will be to debunk lies continuously told to the U.S. authorities by opposition operatives. Quote, every U.S. mission that comes to Guyana, they have a standard mantra. That is, the PPP is racist, the PPP is corrupt, the PPP is incompetent, the PPP squanders oil money, and the PPP doesn't like the U.S. because we are in bed with the Chinese. End of quote. Of course, quote again, of course, the facts are very different, and we have been meeting with those officials to set the record straight. End of quote. Jack Dio said on Thursday at his weekly press conference. Jack Dio opined that such notions are shared by detractors of the party and the government, including members of the opposition. He also said known social media critic Rickford Burke has consistently fed the U.S. authorities with untrue information. But he emphasized that the government will push back against those untrue notions and intend to work closely with the Trump administration to set the record straight. Quote, we believe the U.S. is a very close partner of Guyana, and therefore we have to work to build a partnership continuously, to build this partnership continuously. End of quote. He said, later adding, quote, we are looking forward to continue debunking all the lies, particularly with the new administration that will take office next January in the USA. Of particular note, Jack Dio said the government will engage the U.S. administration on Burke's modus operandi and transgression, including his alleged extortion of Guyanese. Outside of expressing intentions to engage the U.S. administration, Jack Dio highlighted some of the improvements that have been made locally to guarantee greater accountability and transparency in governance. Those gains include the improvement of the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board, NFATAB. That is what the press conference last Thursday said. But I have a response to the vice president. Yeah, sure. I can advise him. I get some advice. I get to the stage though, I give free advice. So I'm going to advise the vice president how he should go about interacting with the Trump administration. Start from now. Here what I'll get in. Yeah, I can read and explain as we go along before bringing Mr. Conway. Sit back and enjoy. I said, and this is Jack Dio, I recommended he writes to President Trump, and the letter should go like this. Dear President-elect Donald Trump, I want to congratulate you on behalf of the People's Progressive Party and on my own behalf for your historic win at the last U.S. elections. You have become only the second person in the U.S. to have won non-consecutive terms. That is a significant achievement for someone who has had so many legal issues, both civil and criminal. The government of Guyana, of which I am in charge, looks forward to working with you in the interest of ExxonMobil, which discovered large oil reserve offshore Guyana. We also want to work with you to debunk the many lies which have been peddled about my government by the opposition and social media influencers. Mr. President-elect, I am pleading with you to assist in debunking those damaging lies. I would like your government to cause the FBI to conduct a thorough investigation into the following lies told by the opposition and social media influencers. They team up with Chinese businessmen and Vice News to conduct an interview with me, which I generously facilitated in the living room of my Paddoville mansion. During that interview, I was caught by surprise when the interviewer asked me about taking bribes and suggested that Chinese national Su Zhirong collects bribes on my behalf. This is totally untrue. I would request that during the investigation by the FBI, a lie detector test be administered. I will also kindly request that the behavioral scientists and body language experts carefully examine the tape, which is in circulation on social media, which opposition elements are claiming show that I was less than candid. I am confident that such an examination would show that during the Vice News interview, I was calm, poised, confident, and forthright with my answers. That's part of it. Let me show you all what I'm talking about. Let me show you all the interview that we want him to think. This is the interview we want him
sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Zhirong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims.
Right, so that's what we're saying. We want to, you're going to ask the president-elect to make sure that he deals with that. And you're going to see the behavioral scientists and the body language people will say that, no, the vice president was candid and it was an old set of lies. I continue. They have repeatedly and falsely claimed that during my tenure as president, hundreds of Afro-Guyanese were executed by members of a phantom death squad, which they claim was run by a minister of my government. That is a blatant lie. They also claim that my government had a hand in the killing of one of my own ministers, Sadio Sarr, back in 2006, Ronald Waddell in 2006, and Courtney Cromwell in 2015, among others. In the latter case, they falsely allege that two of the ministers in the current government were involved in this dastardly act. This needs to be debunked. The opposition and social media elements have also been besmirching the character of senior officers of the Guyana Police Force. They have maliciously claimed that a senior officer who was involved in the investigations of the murder of Ricardo Fagundes, alias Paper Shorts, took $30 million from a prime suspect to cover up the murder. This allegation was first made by a sergeant of the Guyana Police Force. They have also been maliciously imputing the character of other senior police officers, including acting police commissioner, whom they wickedly refer to as the extended squatter, all because he has passed the age of retirement. This was an innocent error due to a mix-up with his birth certificate, which we have not been able to find. We note with great concern that during a recent massive drug bust in Region 1, which I am told had the involvement of the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, the Guyana Police Force was deliberately and inexplicably kept in the dark. The opposition then falsely claimed that the removal of the divisional commander was linked to his involvement in illicit activities. This is false. The removal of the commander to the transport workshop was to allow him to gain valuable experience in mechanics, including the repairs and servicing of semi-submersible vessels. They have relentlessly attacked and defamed the exemplary character of Assistant Commissioner Calvin Boothus. This has led to him being charged with 30 criminal offenses, including larceny by public officer, which Guyanese call thieving, money laundering, conspiracy, and misconduct in public office, among others. They are claiming that he has 210 more charges pending. They even went so far as to cause a SWAT team to surround his living quarters, which incidentally is in the police compound immediately opposite police headquarters, and which adjoins the living quarters of other senior officers. This surely was meant to intimidate and may have caused him to withdraw and discontinue the matters he had before the High Court. Their claim of indigenization of the command structure of the Guyana Police Force is utterly ridiculous. The fact that every senior police officer from superintendent and above of Indian descent has a command position is merely a coincidence and not discriminatory, or as is claimed by the opposition and social media influencers. They falsely claim that the members of the discipline service are demoralized. Not so. Those personnel, especially members of the Guyana Police Force, are fully motivated. In fact, the acting commissioner has implemented a policy to reach out to his friends and stakeholders to provide financial support whenever there is a wedding, birthday, or anniversary. One generous supporter gave the acting commissioner $8.5 million, which was used to finance the lavish wedding ceremony of Assistant Commissioner Calvin Boothus. This policy has had a tremendous positive impact on the morale of ranks. They told a blatant lie on one of my most trusted and hardworking ministers, Nigel Dharamlal, that he raped and buggered a 16-year-old indigenous girl. Following a very thorough and professional investigation by the police, the Director of Public Prosecutions, who is a Muslim and who a former Attorney General had falsely claimed cannot separate our religion from our professional duties, directed that no charge should be instituted against him. Not satisfied, they caused another young woman to make another similar allegation against the said minister. After the first allegation, the minister, who had the interests of the PPP and the country at heart, decided to resign. Despite this resignation, these wicked people continue to falsely claim that he is still receiving all his ministerial benefits and privileges. These vile and despicable people lied on some prominent and law-abiding businessmen, claiming that they were involved in acts of bribery and corruption, also gold smuggling, drug smuggling, and money laundering and other serious criminal activities. The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Home Affairs, who is an executive member of my party, had similar allegations made against her. This led to a resignation. This led to a reassignment to another ministry and subsequently being sent on leave, which she continued to enjoy with full benefits. These malicious allegations caused the U.S. Treasury Department to impose crippling sanctions against those outstanding and productive citizens. I urge that upon entering office in January, you immediately issue an executive order reversing those sanctions. The federal authorities have been unjustly harassing persons who are close to my government and those perceived to be close to government, including some ministers of government, whenever they transit the USA. This has had a terrifying effect on many supporters, causing them to cancel travel arrangements to the United States of America. They further claim that contracts are given to friends, families, and favorites. This is a lie that should be debunked. They also claim that concessions in mining license for exploitation of gold, other precious minerals are approved in a discriminatory manner. These are all false. They have also been feeding every mission that comes to Guyana a pack of lies about this government being corrupt and discriminate along racial lines. Unfortunately, we are never given the opportunity to adequately respond to these false and malicious allegations. Finally, Mr. President-elect, one of the most disturbing claims made by these evil people is that my government is in bed with the Chinese. Another lie. The fact that Chinese companies have been preferred to build the new Demerara Bridge, the Chedijagan Airport, many hotels, roads, and other large projects, and have many supermarkets and other undertakings throughout the country is a factor of market force. They are more competitive than the American counterparts. I look forward to working with our lobbyists in Washington to ensure that these and other false and damaging allegations are fully addressed and debunked so that the stench of corruption which pervades this beautiful country of ours is cleared. Signed, Vice President. That is a recommendation I make to him for him to send to the president. See, you're smiling, man. I know you want to say something. Let me bring you into up your seat.
Oh, I love the recommendation. They are on target, and let them debunk. Let them bring people and debunk it. I look forward to it. Bring it on. Bring it on. I love the recommendations.
It's free. It's free recommendation. I have a suspicion that they might come and ask me for it because I just read it out. They're gonna ask because if you're saying that you want to engage the new president to debunk all the lies that have been told, I have pointed out some of the lies. I have identified some of the lies, and I urge you, Mr. Vice President, that perhaps tomorrow at your usual cuss-out session, you can then seek to have something similar. I mean, no, I'm not the best writer. I have been far. I may have been far in school. I know that I didn't mean to use IFLOC University, right? So you might get the people them to nice it up, but I think you have the gist of what you can tell the president-elect. Because when the vice president said missions coming to this country, and the opposition telling him a pack of lie, what do you believe? And I didn't mention here the United Nations. The United Nations early this year, I think it was, commented on some of these very issues, corruption, human rights violations, and all of that. And the vice president said they were to address these issues. They have not, as far as I'm aware, done so. So I am saying to you, put together all these issues. Start off with the Sugate thing. Let them know, because they know, they see it. They see it. Let the behavioral scientists, let the body language experts review it again, because I'm sure they would have done so before. And they would see that you were telling, you are being very candid. When Sue, my relationship, they will be able to discern how truthful you were. Then I asked them with all of these things, get like detector test, polygraph. That's a polygraph is not 100% accurate, but it is used in investigations to determine the veracity of statements and so on. Ask them to use that. Because I have said on this program, and I repeat it here, the things that I've alleged that took place, interaction with me and the president, interaction with me and Arafat Kalana and all of them, I am willing to take a lie detector test because I know it is truthful. What if they are willing to do likewise? I am willing, because I have always been truthful about these incidents. The meeting I had, the discussion with the president on the 16th of September 2020, the interaction with me and the president over the Edgar Thomas writing to the Commission for Promotion, the interaction I had with the president on the night of the 23rd of December 2020, all of those things, I'm willing to sit down and be strapped up with a polygraph. And I'm sure that they will see that I am telling the truth. Are they willing to do likewise? Are they willing to do likewise? If they are so confident that what they're saying is true, all the lies they're telling against people, if they're so confident, take a polygraph, man. Take a polygraph. But I don't think they will want to do that. I don't think they will want to do that. So this letter is put out there so that they giving free advice to the vice president. You see, I can't take money, because the last time when Mr. Conway know about this, and I asked him to speak about it just now, when the commissioner, not the acting or the prosecutor, Leslie James, asked us, Mr. Conway, myself, and other retired officers, to assist in revising the police force standing order, which we did 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. Then they decided that they're going to give us a stipend for the days that we work. And on the basis of that, Soku decided that the fact that we took stipend, that is conspiracy to commit fraud. Anil Nandalal, on the 29th of June, 2021, he was on TV, issues in the news, make us out a statement saying that we committed crime. The matter we charge, matter went before the court. Magistrate upheld a no-case submission. And in the number decision, the magistrate said that there was not an iota of evidence against us. And we knew that. It was something trumped up. Not an iota of evidence against us. That's what the magistrate said. It is there in the record. The DPP, the same DPP that, what you name? Bernard DeSantis, former Attorney General. For those of you who don't know, Bernard DeSantis, Senior Counsel, was the first Attorney General when the PPP returned to office in 1992. And Bernard DeSantis said, it's in the book, with the New Build Society, the hijacking of the New Build Society. I think it is page 49 or something like that. It's in the book. Bernard DeSantis said, it's quoted there saying, that the Director of Public Prosecutions, whose husband is a Muslim cleric, is unable. He said that is what is known among the criminal bar. It is suspected among the criminal bar that the Director of Public Prosecutions, whose husband is a Muslim cleric, cannot separate our religion from our professional duties. Bernard DeSantis says so. That is why it is in the book. And again, I encourage you, those of you who have not read it, go and read the book. It is, I understand it's available at Austin's bookstore. For those of you in the States, it's available on Amazon. Read the book, and you will see the damning allegations made against many people, including the DPP, Barrett Jackdo, and all of them. How they destroy the lives of those managers at New Building Society. So it is there. It is there. So I'm saying, do a proper investigation. Call, you want to debunk all that is being said, write to the incoming president. So when he assumes office in January, they're going to have this on the front burner. So they can investigate all the allegations of corruption that have been made. All, they can investigate it thoroughly. Probably go all the way back to the extrajudicial killings when the Jagdeo was president. Crummy Wing, that is after he was president. You had Satsa, you had Ronald Waddle. Investigate all of these things if you have nothing to hide. Call for a credible investigation. Not them wishy-washy thing that they're doing here. Soku investigated. Soku investigating up to now. They can't tell us what has happened with this this statement that the acting commissioner gave to say that he took $8.5 million from a businessman because there's a policy he implemented. 8.5. And I say that is misconduct in public office. There's no other, the people said it on the program Sunday night, there is no other country, developing country, with respectable people running the country, who will allow a man who admitted in writing, he has not come to debunk that as yet, that he took $8.5 million from a businessman. He said he counted it. All this took place in his office. And he paid Pegasus. And then they give a refund of some money because he overpaid them. And the man is sitting there as a commissioner of police. And now you hear about police officer who they're running, big job running, police sergeant, and all this everything. They're comfortable with this stench. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, then we're going to move to the next subject. CC, your views about the lie detector test and the polygraph / lie detector and all of these things. Well, and I said, I want you to talk specifically about the interaction with the Service Commission and how they end up charging us and all of that.
Yeah, I always remember, and I listen carefully to the Attorney General, the supreme legal influencer of the government, and he was talking about us, me and you, Paul, the members of the Police Service Commission, and he said that our behavior was unethical because we accepted stipend from the Guyana Police Force to revise the much outdated police standing order. He didn't say it's criminal, you know. He said it was unethical. And if we come back to the present case where the extended squad put in writing that he accepted 8 something million from a member of the public, we put him on name too, that used as money to fund the wedding for seniors, for Assistant Commissioner Brutus. That wasn't unethical. That wasn't criminal. But we who revised part of the standing order and they played us as stipend. They prepared the account. They made all the records and everything and paid us. And then on the top of it, they charge us for conspiracy to defraud. And I will always repeat, 26 persons testified. I can't say they give evidence. Some from Suku testified. And even Brutus and all give evidence. People from the Ministry of Home Affairs give evidence. People from the Ministry of Finance give evidence. From the Police Finance Office, from the Quartermaster Store, from the General Office, from the Commissioner Confidential Registry. All of them go before the magistrate. And at the end of the day, magistrate said there isn't a scintilla of evidence to convict him. Nothing to show that any one of us who was charged received $8. You said we conspired to defraud over $10 million, and nothing to show that anyone was received $8, and no evidence to show that we conspire. The whole idea was to charge Conway, give Conway a bogus charge, give Paulson a bogus charge, and then move to the president to have us removed suspended from the Police Service Commission because we ain't promoting Brutus and we ain't promoting the Israel people. He particularly asked about Brutus. Now Brutus turned back and maybe biting them. It's them created it. You know, so I'm saying that, and then the court ruled that nothing there. And even in the suspension, the judge said that it was unconstitutional, null and void, has no legal effect, and those kind of things there. So those are things that I will always remember, that will live with me, that I will carry to my grave. The unjust treatment, the unconstitutional treatment that we receive from the government of Guyana, all because we were doing our work, and all because we said, they tell the president, hey, we ain't promoting Brutus and others, because they have disciplinary matters pending. And according to the public service rule, as long as you have disciplinary matter pending, you cannot be promoted. But then the present constitution, Police Service Commission, led by the bishop, went ahead and promoted Karimbash, promoted Brutus, promoted Chief Prasad Bacchus, promoted Chevron Jupiter, and promoted Prem Narayan. And they all had disciplinary matters pending that were not resolved. Very ungodly promotion. And up to now, they can't make another promotion.
Well, I wonder why, because we were led to believe not so long ago by the Minister of Governance and Parliamentary Affairs, Gil Teixeira, that on the 2nd, I think it was the 2nd of October, she wrote to Mr. Norton to say that the king is doing such a splendid job, and that the president is going to make him, to promote him, but nothing happened since. We also saw some months ago a list being circulated of other promotions that were to be made. And then we saw the same Teixeira wrote to Norton to not only Ikin to be promoted to commissioner, but I think they had 5 persons to be promoted to deputy commissioner. What happened to that? Nothing happening. I don't know what happened there. I see this as the problem, because I suspect that among the list of people in all of those lists, we have people who are deserving of their promotion. People who are deserving. But you get all in the same bundle, so nobody can go nowhere. Now, let me talk about promotion. This is the right time to segue into this other matter. And here I'm talking about the promotion, the seniority in the police force, the seniority in the police force. Seniority in any organization, especially an organization with an hierarchical structure like police and army, and it's very, very, very important and should not be messed with, should not be taken lightly. Yeah, continue to share. Continue to share this life. I'm gonna break it down now. Now, you're senior either by rank or you're senior by date of appointment. So in the police force, you got ranks from constable right up to commissioner of police. Those are the ranks in the police force. So because of the hierarchical structure, constable is the most junior. Then you get lance corporal, you get corporal, you get sergeant, you get inspector, chief inspector, cadet, right all the way up to commissioner. So if a man is a corporal and you're a lance corporal, he's senior to you. So there's promotion by rank, senior by rank. If a person is a superintendent, the next man is a deputy superintendent, the superintendent is senior to the superintendent. So there's no real ambiguity, or there should be no real ambiguity there. You are senior by rank. Now you're also senior by appointment. So if both of you get the same rank, listen to this carefully, if both of you have the same rank, then you can be senior by date of appointment. So if I get appointed on the 1st of January 2024, and Conway got appointed on the 2nd of January 2024, I am senior to Conway by date of appointment. Let me understand this clearly. You get seniority by, we understand by rank, but let me talk about seniority by date of appointment. So you might have the same rank, whether it's superintendent, assistant commissioner, sergeant, you got the same rank. But because the one person has been appointed or was appointed before the other, the one who was appointed before is senior by date of appointment, not rank, is senior by date of appointment. Understand it clearly. And I'm working my way to tell you this because I understand that in recent times, some people claim, Brutus claim, that the Police Service Commission, when they made the promotion in 2022, gave him seniority above other people. So in other words, the other people who are there in the rank of assistant commissioner before him, he's claiming that the Police Service Commission made him senior to them. Nonsense. Nonsense. Or as Nyland Welch would say, nonsenseness. It don't work like that. The Police Service Commission has no authority to make someone senior by date of appointment to another person. They can make you senior in rank. Understand it clearly. So they can promote you in rank and make you senior to the other person in rank, but not by date of appointment, meaning that if both of you have the same rank, assistant commissioner, and there were people there before you as assistant commissioner, you can't get seniority ahead of them. Cannot work. Cannot. Because we have in the police force, I'm saying we, I still associating myself with certain aspect of the force. There is in the police force what you call a fixed establishment. Because one commissioner, it used to be 4 deputies, they changed the law now to make it 6 deputies. Deputies, I think it's 12 assistant commissioners, so on and so on. Now, when promotions are made to fill vacancies that have been created. So in the police force, there is to be, or there used to be, or ought to be, what we call, they have a out of service list. Them thing we're talking about is not no top secret, so nobody can blame me of letting secret out. You get an out of service list, so that when people retire, especially at the levels of sergeant and small Thomas commercial, even inspector now, you create and you maintain that list. John Jones retired on the 1st of January 2024. Somebody died on this date. Somebody retired on this date. You maintain that list so you know when the vacancies were created. That you call it the out of service list. So that when time comes for promotion, you have to refer to the out of service list to determine which are the dates that the people will get. Understand it clearly, you know. I discovered some years ago when I was there as operations, that there was a breakdown in the system, and I caused it to be rebuilt out of service list. I remember in 2009, when promotions were to be made, and I asked for the out of service list, some people didn't know what was an out of service list. And I had to tell them, and we have to reconstruct it. Somebody died on this day. Somebody retired on this day. Somebody resigned on this day. You have it. So when you're sitting out to make the promotions, you're promoting people effective from those dates. Stay with me. Stay with me. You promote people effective from those dates. I discovered, long before I became chairman of the Police Service Commission, that during the Service Commission that preceded us, all of a sudden, they don't bother with dates of promotion and date of appointment. So if you check now in the records of the police force, you will find that when a promotion is made, let's say on the 31st of December 2023, effective from the 1st of January 2024, everybody getting the same date. So if you make 5 assistant commissioners, everybody the same date. If you make 6 senior civilians, everybody the same date, all the way down to sergeant. Rubbish. Rubbish. And that thing was, it affects the superannuation benefits of people. It affects the benefits because, let's say a vacancy is created on the 1st of January 2023. Let's say for argument. And you decide that the person got promoted now, anyhow, you aren't going to that date. You're promoting now from effective from today because it's today you make the promotion. So the man lose all that retroactive service and all that, affects his money, affects his superannuation benefit. We put a stop to that when we were the Police Service Commission. And the secretary, Jai Singh, said that he didn't know how that system worked. As a matter of fact, he's alleged to have said that he ain't making nothing retroactive, that police need the retroactive money. Because when you make it retroactive, is where you're going to talk about back pay. People get back pay. And that at seas, and we corrected. And I'm saying this, I personally sat down, and when promotions were made by us in 2018, at the end of the year, 2019, and even 2020, the one that they decided not to recognize, I sat down and painstakingly went through the dates to make sure people got the right dates. Painstakingly went through the dates. So this thing where you're here talking about Police Service Commission made him senior above the other people and so on. Nonsense. Nonsense. And I'm going to talk about it some more. But let me bring in Mr. Conway to obviously. CC, help me out here.
You're quite correct, Paul. And let me go back to the Constitution. I have it here, I always like to quote the law, the Constitution. Article 211. It's saying the Commissioner of Police and every Deputy Commissioner of Police shall be appointed by the President acting after meaningful consultation with the Leader of the Opposition and Chairperson of the Police Service Commission after the Chairperson has consulted with other members of the Commission. Good. And 6, in this article reference to the Office of Deputy Commissioner of Police are references to the office, however style, the rank next in seniority in the police force after the Office of the Commissioner of Police, provided that there may be more than one Office of Deputy Commissioner of Police, and that if there are more than one such office, the whole therefore shall rank among themselves according to the dates of their respective appointments. Talking about the dates of their respective appointments. And let me go down to Brutus, was saying that he's senior, well, to all the other assistant commissioner. Before the present Police Service Commission made their appointment, McBean was already a assistant commissioner. Andrews Jr. was already assistant commissioner. So Andrews Jr. and McBean. And when they submitted the list of ranks to be made assistant commissioner, the last promotion, they play like 2020. Somebody reshuffled the batting order. And here it how it was. Watts was number 1. Budram was number 2. Blanham number 3. Brutus number 4. Karimbash number 5. Azor number 6. Simon number 7. Parzam number 8. And Seniority number 9. So Watts was the number 1. And they reshuffled the batonado that went to the Police Service Commission. The commission didn't sign it. I can't remember who signed the list of recommendation. But Watts number 1, Budram number 2, Blanham number 3. And when the list went there and when it came back, for some ungodly reason, Brutus became number 1. Brutus became number 1. Followed, I won't go wrong the other, but Brutus automatically become number 1. Remember the Chief Justice said that Brutus was self-serving. He was self-serving. So Brutus, who was number 4 on the list, became number 1 when it came back from the Police Service Commission. And remember, it went to the Police Service Commission. They didn't add, they didn't alter, they didn't correct anything. When somebody asks from the commission asks, what asks, if we're not checking records, we're not checking files, we're not checking dates of appointment and things there. They say, I was told that we the members of the service commission don't know the people. And whatever the person send, there's it. We're going to rubber stamp and send back everything. So when they say that Brutus is the most senior assistant commissioner, he's not. The most senior is Andrews Jr., followed by McBean. And then if that follow the protocol, if that follow the established thing, Watts should have been the number 1, Budram should have been the number 2, Blanham the number 3, and Brutus the number 4. So they cut the thing. A lot of corruption took place there, making Brutus, when the list came back, as the number 1. So you put it quite clearly in terms of the appointments. It's work with seniority.
All right. I put up a question asked by one of my good friends and one of the loyal students. He asked, what happens if both are promoted same day and date? Easy, Dudley. If you're promoted the same day and date, let's say you are both promoted to assistant commissioner the same day and date, then you go back to the previous rank, senior superintendent, who was senior. If you are both, the same thing happened and the senior superintendent, you go back to the next rank, superintendent, and that is how it is separated, right? So if both of you were promoted the same day and date, the one who was senior as a senior superintendent maintains that seniority. You can't just shuffle the thing and a man loses seniority just like that. If you are both on the same day and the same date at the previous rank, you go back to the rank before that, and that is how you sort it out. And Mr. Conway is correct. Let me explain further. Let me explain further because I have the note here, and he says Article 211(6) of the Constitution, I think it is. We just do research, you know. Article 211(6) makes it clear that if you have, they say there can be one commissioner, and they say the next rank is deputy commissioner, whatever style, deputy commissioner. So if there are more than one, then they are going to rank based on the date of the appointment. And they say, as the lawyers would say, and the legal people will say, the same thing applies to the other ranks, mutatis mutandis. That's the legal phrase, mutatis mutandis. It applies, meaning that the same thing applies with the necessary and appropriate changes. So rather than saying deputy commissioner, the same thing applies, but you don't say assistant commissioner. That is what mutatis mutandis means. I know a lawyer, but I had good training, and I like read. And that is what it means. So even though the Constitution 211(6) speaks about deputy commissioner, the same thing applies to the other ranks, mutatis mutandis. I hope some of my lawyer friends here come and tell me that I'm right. Right? So let me go back to this seniority thing some more to tell you all. And you know, as I've said, what is appalling is that you have senior officers who are allowing them to manipulate the seniority, and they are staying quiet. They are staying quiet. And again, let me say the seniority in the force. We get enough time to finish it off. Right now, Clifton Akin is the most senior. He's assistant commissioner. His substantive rank is assistant commissioner. Right? He was appointed to assistant commissioner on the 1st of January 2015. These things should not be no secret. So don't believe we're telling tales out of school. 1st of January 2015, he was appointed to assistant commissioner. The next senior person is Royston Andrews Jr., assistant commissioner. He was appointed on the 1st of September 2017. This is the same man who was charged with us for conspiracy to commit fraud and misconduct in public office, charged dismissed on the 27th of December 2023. Up to now, the man is reinstated, and that is not no accident. They want to keep him there so they could have manipulated this thing with Brutus Senior, and the man is now the most senior assistant commissioners after Akin, who is acting commissioner. There's no deputy commissioner. So the time either substantive or acting, none. And then after Andrew Jr., the next senior man is Simon McBean, who was appointed on the 30th of August 2018 to assistant commissioner. And let me say that I was at the police office commission at the time. No one, absolutely no one, could have been appointed after that date and given a date prior, because no vacancy existed prior to 30th of August 2018. None. Because we went through the system to see what was the earliest date available, and McBean got that date. The next senior person is Watts. And this is where the thing about dates comes in, because Watts, Budram, Brutus, the three of them were appointed, they were senior superintendents, and they were appointed senior superintendents on the 1st of January 2015. In that order, Watts, Budram, and Blanham, they were appointed in that order. So therefore, the seniority is Watts. Even though they got the same date, yes, they would have gone back into the system to see who was seen as a superintendent. Then you had Budram, 1st of January 2015, Blanham, 1st of January 2015. Right? Brutus, that's the same date, 1st of January 2015. In that order, again, in that order, Watts, Budram, Blanham, Brutus. So this nonsense with the claiming, and here what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Let me continue this seniority and I'll tell you what happened there. After that is Karimbash, appointed on January the 1st, 2016, to the rank of senior superintendent. Azor, appointed on the August the 1st, 2017, to the rank of senior superintendent. Simon, who is now an assistant commissioner, appointed to senior superintendent on the 1st of October 2017. Pajram was appointed on the 15th of October 2017 to the rank of senior superintendent. Kingston was appointed on the 11th of November 2018 to the rank of senior superintendent. Ray was appointed on the 1st of July 2019 to the rank of senior superintendent. So there's the order, and nobody can. Let me tell you. Let me say it again. You can promote a person with these names. You can promote. Let me say, for example, you get assistant commissioners Andrews Jr., Simon McBean, Watts, Budram, Blanham, Brutus, Karimbash. They're all assistant commissioners. You can promote anyone above once you have justification. So even though the order is listed like that, you can promote, let's say, the most junior man there is Karimbash. You can promote Karimbash to above Watts or above anybody. Promote him to above. But once the two of them, Watts and Karimbash, are sort of promoted at the same time, you can't manipulate the seniority. You cannot manipulate the seniority and make Karimbash or make Watts, Karimbash suddenly senior to Watts. No, once they're promoted at the same time, they maintain that seniority. Let me understand this thing here. Let us understand. But here, what happened? Again, let me remember, the Chief Justice said on the 28th of June 2021 She found Senior Superintendent Calvin Brutus' letter on this dated December the 24th, 2020 to various senior officers was strange, self-serving, vague, unsubstantiated, and represents a conflict of interest. That is what the Chief Justice said. So what happened in this case? When in 2020 promotions were to be done, they sent the list to the Police Service Commission, and Brutus put the name ahead of these other people. They did not maintain the order of seniority. Brutus put the name ahead of them. And the incompetent secretary and the members of the Police Service Commission sent it back just so. They might have even manipulated the dates. I haven't seen the order, but they might have even manipulated the dates to say Brutus got an earlier promotion date than the others. Rubbish, nonsense. It's self-serving. This is conflict of interest. And that is why you have all of the problems there. And I'm saying I am disappointed that these officers who are there, senior officers, who in the first instance ought to be able to represent themselves. If they can't represent themselves, how are they going to represent the ranks below them? Should have sought to correct it. It's not too late. Brutus cannot be senior to those persons because they were all promoted on the same date. Cannot. The seniority that existed before has to continue. So if, as they're saying, the Police Service Commission gave him seniority over the others, that is nonsense. The Police Service Commission has no authority to so do. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for his closing, and then we can take. CC, you wrap up, my brother.
Yeah, I remember precedents, you could remember we had Senior Superintendent Rocco Robertson and Senior Superintendent Hilton Cummins. And they send Hilton Cummins to Bobby's, and they give him acting assistant commissioner. And Rocco protested, said, no. He said, I am the most senior person here and senior assistant commissioner. And if you're going to make an acting, I got to forget it, not Hilton Cummins. And they had to reverse the order. But when they do the promotion, they promote Cummins and they didn't promote Rocco. And then since I am to Bobby's, I'm again appealing for the police in Bobby's to pay those persons who work at the Bobby's fair, at Bobby's expo. Persons work 4 days and they only pay them for 3 days. They say 1 day got to go back to the government, and the government ain't get it 1 day yet. So I'm appealing, pay those persons who work 4 days, pay them the 4 days thing. And I always remember Rocco and Hilton Cummins. Rocco said, I am the most senior superintendent, and in the acting, I got to forget it if you're going to act. But when they promote Cummins and they left back Rocco. I think you could remember that, Paul.
I remember it very well because I learned a lot from that. You see, back in the day, people know about the seniority, and people don't make sport with seniority. You cannot, the public service talks about acting appointments, and acting appointment as a general rule, go to the most senior person. And that's what Rocco was saying. He was the most senior superintendent. And they made Hilton Cummins, who was also a senior superintendent, acting assistant commissioner. Rocco said, can't work. I am the senior assistant commissioner, and therefore I have to get the acting. You know what Rocco said? Rocco said? Rocco said, all right, let you wear the badge rank of assistant commissioner, but y'all gotta give me the money. I gotta get it paid because I am the most senior person. I am the most senior person. I tell them when you command, all the years I commanded divisions and branches in the police force, I always had the seniority list, always knew who was senior to whom. Because if you don't do that, how do you manage a division? You put a man in charge of a station, and then he is junior to some other person. They might not tell you anything, but then an acrimonious relationship can develop, man, so you can't tell me nothing, I seen it to you. So you have to always have those things. People like Henry Green and them, you make sport with the seniority, you dare not. You dare not make sport with the seniority. They know if they're senior to you by the minute. Somebody made a student made a comment here that a judge appointed in the morning and another one appointed in the afternoon. The one who appointed in the morning is senior to the one who appointed in the afternoon. Correct. Even when they're admitted to the bar. Lawyers, I understand, when they're admitted to the bar. If you are admitted before, there's a big laugh in the police force open, cause any angst with these ranks. When they were, same Brutus and all them, when they graduated and they were for time to be admitted to the bar, The young officer, the most junior of the lot, went head first and was admitted. And therefore, he's a senior liar to them. And when they understand that, they kick up. Not nice. They are senior in rank in the force, but the man is admitted to the bar before them. So they is seen as senior to them. Folks, these things are very, very important. These things are very, very important. And when you deviate from those things, it brings a breakdown in the system. It creates animosity in the organization. You don't want that. You don't want that. Because I'm sure now all of them are sitting there. Those who didn't know, they are now enlightened, and they're going to bear some type of feelings against this man, this self-serving man. And again, I say, Chief Justice said that she found Brutus to be self-serving, and what they do? They kept him there. They promoted him and all of that. So that is the result. That is the result of that is what happens when you are incompetent and you don't. The systems are there, but people don't follow the systems. People don't follow the system. So, folks, we've had a long morning. We had large numbers as usual, not unexpected. We had a class yesterday, class today. You're doing well. The next class is scheduled for Monday. But as we have repeatedly told you, subscribe, hit the notification button, follow the page. Things happening rapidly. Things are very fluid in this country. And when things occur, we're going to come and we're going to bring it to your attention. The last thing I want to remind you to look at the scroll below and give me a thing. Let's say give you a blind. We don't want drug money. We don't want all them money laundering business. But we're saying to you that to show your appreciation, just make a contribution if you can. And folks, that will be it for today. God spare life. We're going to come again on Monday, and we're going to bring you another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Until then, we urge you to stay well. Bye.